situations. These are the things that can make cops change. Cops killing black kids won't stop them. But you start fucking with white people, all of a sudden you'll see fucking new laws get put into place.
Well, that is so horrible to say that I wish it weren't true.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I wish I could say that with a laugh, but unfortunately I can't.
Why do we need to change the culture? What has happened? You're the people that protect us. Why do we have to enact some kind of legislative change to make you just not fucking lie and cover your own asses? It shouldn't take some sort of change. That should be like written in one of your textbooks somewhere.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on in this country? Like, it's bad enough the politicians. Is that what it is? We're all acting, what would a politician do? And then we make that decision?
I sure as hell hope not, because those motherfuckers are criminal.
You can't live like that. You cannot live your life like a politician would. Oh, God damn it. You're the police, for fuck's sakes. What are you thinking? Have a little respect for your job. Have a little respect for humans. Oh, fucking hell. If a dog went to jail for 17 years, people would lose their fucking minds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Life would fucking end as we know it if that happened.
Oh, protest groups would be... Pamela Anderson would fly to the country and head up her PETA group, and fucking people would lose their minds. There'd be PSAs, there'd be music videos made with Bono and fucking Bette Midler. They'd write a song together. Oh, this dog did 17 years. We have to raise $6 billion for the SPCA. And they'd fucking get it, too.
Oh, yeah, they would.
Did you buy the Bono CD? The one with Elton John? No, the one with Bette Midler. Oh, that was even better. Oh, I love that dog. Did you hear about that guy in Halifax? Yeah, fuck him.
No. Words I would never utter ever once in my life.
Fuck that guy in Halifax.
Did you hear that Bono CD is the first part and Bette Midler being the other part?
Yeah, right? Fuck you, boner. Every time someone does something like that in the country, Boner should have to give out $100,000.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Tell me I'm not giving enough to charity. You have $6 billion, prick. All right. So stop being stupid. Cops, stop being stupid. People, stop calling the cops when there's nothing wrong. Everyone, start calling Bono in the middle of the night.
I've never heard that term. This is one of the big things that people talk about, like what's going to save a relationship. This is one of the biggest things that will save a relationship and make things last longer. But this is for life in general. Pick your battles.
There you go.
If you're waking up and you're battling because your fucking phone went off, you're a desperate piece of shit looking for attention, and you think the fucking world revolves around you. Well, it doesn't. You want to know how you prove that? If you actually think the world revolves around you, here's what you need to do. Go grab a light bulb and stick it in the fucking light bulb socket. If it screws itself in with you just standing there not doing anything,
then you're right.
You're right. But when you stand there for fucking 4 hours or 6 days or a month and that thing hasn't fucking moved, kick in the nuts for you.
Kick in the nuts, that's right. We'll get to that in just one sec. But you're thinking about pick your battles. You know what about picking your battles is interesting? I think the soldiers are really idiots. I was thinking camouflage is stupid. Because,
explain.
Of course the other army's going to be looking for the dudes dressed like the trees. Dress like fucking clowns or something. Dress like camels. Dress anything but camouflage. They look for the guys in the camouflage. Dummies.
If you walk around in regular clothes, nobody's going to shoot you because they're going to assume you're a civilian.
If you were dressed like a fucking narwhal flopping down the street, they wouldn't shoot at you. They'd be surprised, and then you could take them.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't dress like soldiers. That's idiotic. The whole concept of matching uniforms is stupid. But come on. This is going to change when I'm prime minister, too. No more matching uniforms so you all look the same. You're just basically asking for it at that point.
You know, I remember years ago watching a documentary on this one street in California. It was one little ghetto street, that this gang, very predominant gang in the area, they ran the street. They had control over all the neighbors. They owned several of the houses. They had lookouts on all the areas. So anytime when a raid was going to come, they had enough lookouts that cops could not get in.
Sure.
To raid, because the second they would start rolling down the street, they already knew about it fucking 20 blocks away.
Yeah.
So what they did was they sent in one guy for a week, and his job was he sat on this fucking hill in the middle of this forest in full camo fatigues for a week, did not move from his spot for a week, and just observe and record for an entire week looking at, and he ended up getting full control over every house. He knew which houses were running which drugs, which houses were running which guns. He ended up with 1 week. He knew all the information he needed to know within a week. So when the cops did show up to do the raid, they knew exactly which houses to hit. And they nailed it. So that's a one-time camouflage work.
Brilliant. No, it's being silly, but
there you go.
If my job was to kill soldiers, I'd look for the guys dressed like soldiers. It's just a bad thing.
Yeah,
that's stupid. Okay, we're gonna end on this, I guess. I don't know how long we've been doing this.
We're about an hour.
I don't have it in front of me, but I just can't let a show go by without this. Now, granted, Gordon and I have poked holes in the Me Too movement, and there are holes in the Me Too movement. The Pound Me Too movement. For those, it's the Pound Me Too movement. That's just too funny. Thank you for that. Alyssa Milano, I love you even more because of that.
Pound me too.
Pound me too. You dirty, dirty girl.
Why am I being left out? Terrible.
Now, Gordon and I have spent a great deal of time talking about why it's wrong and what's wrong about it. And make no mistake, there's problems with it. But this is a gentleman wrote something that I thought really went to the heart of the problem and got around that bullshit, because this could avoid a lot of the bullshit that's going on because of that. And it literally changed my life, and I don't say that seriously very often. And
this is like legit. This is like really, really important. Really important. So pay attention.
Just to put it into perspective for some people who might not completely understand how women feel. And we don't. Let's be honest, fellas. We don't. We don't get it.
We can't get it. We could never understand that what women have to deal with their whole lives. We would never be able to fully understand it until this came out.
This is an author named A.R. Moxon, or Moxon. I believe it's Moxon. Moxon.
Moxon sounds more proper. He
put this together to help explain to men how women feel. And this goes right up to involving the current American president, by the way. And a decision he just made very recently. And it hit me in a way that it's been a long time since something hit me like this. People don't change my life very often because I'm smarter than everyone. But this guy came along and just really did. And God bless you, A.R. Moxon. Please send me an email and tell me how to say your name. And if you're listening, sir, my level of respect for you is insurmountable.
Through the roof.
So I'm going to read this. It's a little long-winded, guys. Bear with me. You'll get it. And parents, tell your children. Girlfriends, tell your guys. And guys, fucking shut up and listen.
This is that one moment in life where when people say, this is that key moment you need to pay attention, this is it.
This is it. For the next 5 minutes, I want your ear, and I'll change your life. And that's a sincere promise. So here we go.
If you fucking listen to the first 3 words of this and you scan through this fucking podcast just to get to the end of it, fuck you. You're a douchebag.
Yeah, don't call 911.
Yeah.
Vegan.
Call me. I'll fucking deal with you.
All right. This was tweeted by at Julius Ghost. I don't know, but I'll be following him on Twitter from now on. So Julius Ghost, this is the post of A.R. Moxon's description of how women feel so that men can understand. Hi, guys. Imagine if one day you got kicked in the nuts really hard on purpose. You doubled over, felt the pain, nearly passed out, nearly puked. Then you got kicked again and again. Imagine it happened to you when you were 12. Imagine it was a 38-year-old woman who did it. Imagine it was your mother's friend and business partner. Imagine that later your father explained to you that women just wanted to kick men in the nuts. So as a boy, you had to be careful. And he had a very detailed practical advice on this. And you started spending your life planning on avoiding being kicked in the nuts. Imagine you became aware that women, including older women, even elderly women, were always looking at your nuts. Women on the street would follow you. They'd tell you what a nice package you have. They'd tell you you'd be hot if you just showed a little more of your nuts off. Imagine if you started wearing clothes to hide them. You bought uncomfortable protective gear. And all the posters and advertisements in all the magazines featured men's crotches, though frequently not their heads. Imagine most of your friends told you about getting kicked in the nuts. And imagine none of them have told anybody else. Imagine all the older girls at school would make jokes about kicking you in the nuts. Imagine all the laughter. The jokes are all so funny. Imagine you went to church and you were told that God made girls to want your body, so you should protect your nuts at all costs. And the minister said it was your responsibility as a maturing boy not to do anything that would make girls think about kicking you in the nuts. And then imagine that one day you find a girlfriend and you loved each other. And one night you were fooling around and she kicked you as hard as she could in the nuts, and it all came rushing back. And imagine if she acted like obviously you wanted to be kicked in the nuts, and she mocked you for getting emotional. And imagine you told the police and they asked you what you'd been wearing when you got kicked in the nuts, and if you'd been drinking, or what you might have been doing before you got kicked in the nuts. Imagine there were laws that said if a wife kicked her husband in the nuts, it wasn't assault. And you heard men with ruptured testicles who had to pay for their own forensic reports. Imagine if you saw statistics showing that only 1% of nut kickings resulted in convictions. Imagine if a girl was caught kicking a boy in the nuts while he was passed out drunk. And then the judge lets her off because he's worried about the damage it might do to the girl's future because she was a swimming star with a scholarship. Now imagine that happens all the time. Imagine if one day men all started talking about how almost all of them had been kicked in the nuts. And if women's main concern was what false accusations might do to their reputations. Then imagine that a woman ran for president. And imagine audio came out of her bragging about making it a regular practice to kick men in the nuts. And imagine she lost no support for that. Imagine she claimed that the men who accused her were lying. They were too ugly to kick.
Oh.
Imagine there'd never been a male president. And this candidate ran against the first male to ever run. And he had no experience, he had tons of experience, and she had no experience, but she won anyway. And imagine she supported a Senate candidate known for kicking young boys in the nuts. And she nominated them to be a judge. And the judge was accused of kicking a boy in the nuts, and the accuser had to hide from all the death threats. And imagine the president mocked the accuser in front of a crowd, and the crowd laughed and clapped. And the judge was confirmed. Now imagine that being kicked in the nuts might result in you having to create in your body a genetic replication of the person who kicked you. And the judge intended to make sure you'd have to carry it. That was the reason that judge was chosen. I can't imagine women's rage today. But this exercise, while abstract, helped me get nearer to it than I'd ever been. Be kind to women, guys, today and every day. And if you see something being cruel or violent to women, kick them in the nuts.
You know, it's a sad thing that it takes something like that to give a perspective to guys, but I mean,
still get choked up.
That's the most sensitive thing that guys that have.
Yeah.
We hate having our fucking selves getting kicked in the nuts. It hurts.
But just think,
it's traumatizing.
Like this, the things we've made a joke out of Trump doing, and when you put it like that, you go, "Oh my holy shit, that's not funny." Donald Trump is not funny. The fact that he's putting rapists, he's lining his government with rapists is not funny.
Every guy can recite every time he's been kicked in the balls by a woman.
Yeah, well, I guarantee every woman can recite every time she's been sexually abused.